I think that's bad? Seriously, if you hit him hard enough, you can play a song. I don't even know what that's from.
I think that was Tetris.
Isn't that what you get when you cut yourself with something rusty?
Nope, that's rabies.
Actually, Dad, you contract rabies when you're bitten by an animal with the disease.
Silly Gohan. Animals don't eat people. People eat animals. Silly Gohan.
Hi everyone, JRR here. You probably noticed I'm adding different things for my intros now instead of just my little things left and right. It's just to keep things a little bit more interesting. Okay, today's topic is over two guys which everyone has mixed feelings on. The first one is Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars, and the second one is Arthus. I think his name is Menthol, whatever, aka Lich King. So let's go ahead and get right to it. I put pictures up here, but most pictures are owned by third-party companies like Warner Brothers, Blizzard, things like that. And even if I put things on here say who it belongs to, it's still going to come up with the possibility of this video being revoked, so why bother even doing it in the first place, right? So let's start with number one. Yes, Anakin Skywalker. Many people state that Anakin was quote-unquote a pussy. But let's break everything down, shall we? Oh, before we actually get into it, you know? Keep in mind, you can't really blame an actor too much just because the director usually sees this beforehand and they could have fixed any acting issues that they saw. Apparently the director didn't see anything wrong with it. We'll leave it like that. Now, let's go ahead with our discussion. Let's start with Anakin as a kid. Let's start with the basics, right? Anakin as a kid. Here you have about a 9-10-year-old little guy who is taken from his home and a place that he's used to, put on a ship with some weird-ass floppy-eared alien, Jar Jar Binks, and they go flying back to wherever they're flying to, I think Horizon or some shit. And this little kid is standing in front of the Jedi Council. Now, for those of you who don't know about Star Wars, the Jedi Council happens to have Yoda, the little green Muppet dude of Doom. And if that wasn't freaky enough, if that wasn't enough for the little kid to deal with, he's got, on one side of Yoda, a big black dude, Samuel L. Jackson, aka, in this movie, Mace Windu. And you got guys that are all sorts of aliens. Now this kid, he was a kid. The weirdest thing he's used to seeing is a huge ass fly thing with an elephant nose floating around, kind of talking like a mob boss thing. And he's not quite a mob boss, but he speaks like that because you know what? You think you're some kind of Jedi with your little hand tricks, and you're not. That's what he's used to. He's not used to seeing a black dude sitting there like... Now this is as opposed to Yoda, who's already sitting there going, fear I sense in him. You think so? A little 9-year-old seeing all these people who could pretty much think to kill him and they will succeed outright? Yeah, I'm wondering why the kid didn't bolt out the door. Personal opinion. So, with that, even that being said, you would think somebody would go, okay, you know what? He's a little old for training, but I'll train him anyway. Hopefully, we'll get him away from the dark side. Because, as we all know, fear is the path to the dark side. Yes. So let's go ahead and stop that and get him a well-known master who can train him. Let's see, well-known master. Oh, I know, Obi-Wan. He's going through the master course now, right? Okay, you're going to trust a newly appointed, soon to be taken a trial master, to train someone who is too old to be trained in the first place, and who's already showing signs of the dark side by being scared of the little evil Muppet Yoda dude, and a big black guy, and a guy with a bone in his face somewhere. Yeah, and that's just 3 of the council. That's just 3 of the council. Yes, let's go ahead and give a person who's supposed to be becoming a master, a little apprentice. Well, he needs an apprentice. Yeah, well, you don't want to go with a person who has the highest possibility of balancing the force. Now, let's just break that one down. Balancing the force. Let's think about this for like 30 seconds, shall we? Balancing the force. 30 seconds of thought. Ready? 30 seconds. Go. I don't have a counter. Sorry. Balancing the force. If the good guys, the Jedi, are running the council, to balance the force, we need a whole council of bad guys. I figured that out in 15 seconds. So let's continue on with the logic on poor Anakin, shall we? Yes, with that 50 seconds of logic of balancing the force equals more Sith. I don't know. Now, we carry along. Anakin starts his training. Little kid starts training. Ah! Now, you got a master who sits here. I understand trying to make the guy become more modest? No. Kind of. Okay, modest is close enough to the word. But I understand you're trying to get him to understand that even if he's supposed to be the most powerful Jedi out there, you want to instill with him a certain level of... You want to tell him that he's doing good. As opposed to sitting here and just ragging on him. Oh, I would have done better. I'll have done this. I'll have done that. Okay, dude, you're a master. Shut up. Seriously, relax. Help the guy learn. You did good, however. You did good, but that was well done. But keep in mind, something could happen where you would get killed in future if you try that again. If you try that on a different situation, you would die. You don't have to always be down like that, though. You can always be like, hey, good job. So, yeah, you could kind of tell Anakin starts getting irritated. Anger is the path of the dark side. Well, when someone's trying to push you into anger all the damn time, it's going to happen. That's like standing out in the road. If you go walking onto the Autobahn and stand like off to the center, like about here, it's inevitable that a car is going to come by and hit you. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Because you're in the middle of the damn street, off the center line, you're going to get hit. That's why they say crossing, what? That's illegal. This is illegal on the Autobahn. Because that's committing suicide. That's how they call it. That's what they call it. It's committing suicide. You are stupid enough to do this. It is committing suicide. Period. So why is Anakin the way he is? Gee, I wonder why. And then, on top of that, if you have an apprentice, if you're a group of masters and an apprentice says, this is not the way we do things, or this is not the way the Jedi do things, this is not the way Jedi does things. I'm sorry, I don't care how much of an asshole you think you are. If an apprentice is pointing it out, kind of like the old terminology of if you hire a 5-year-old kid to look through your evil plans as a warlord, and the 5-year-old kid sees a way out of it, fix it! Anakin sat there and was like, okay, this is not the way of the Jedi. Shut up and color. Okay. Gets ready to cost Dooku's head. This isn't the way of the Jedi. I know it's not the way of the Jedi. Just do it anyway. Okay. Dude! What the fuck? Wow! Flag. Holding. Traveling. Offsides. What the hell are y'all doing? An apprentice telling you that you're doing something wrong should kind of throw a flag into play, and you should step back and go, okay, this doesn't make sense. Let's think on what we're doing and why we're doing it before we do it. So we got that part of his life where he was given warnings. And they just, whatever. Okie dokie. And then they're shocked when he turns evil. Really? It came as a fucking shock? To me, I mean, even if you didn't even watch the last 3 or 4 movies or whatever, you just saw that one episode. Just watching that one episode, you would have been like, he's gonna go fucking nuts. He's gonna lose it and he's gonna kill him. He's gonna just start killing people. Sure enough. Again, how do you not see this coming? I mean, even if when he walked into the Jedi Council again, and they go, "Oh, we will let you get a seat, but we're not granting you the rank of master." I'm sorry, I just heard stupid. You want to come over here and say that again? I mean, seriously. Either you grant him the seat and give him master, or you don't grant him the seat. Even if it's suggested that he gets a seat, just break it down. You need to go through the trials of being a master before you get the seat. That's all they had to do. Have him go through the trials. If he fails, then there you go. He doesn't get the seat. He failed on his own accord. If he passes, then he gets the seat because he's passed. Ta-da! But no, they kept pushing and they wondered why he turned evil. Now, we take this into consideration on why he choked Padme. He felt that Padme betrayed him. Okay, it's not really his fault. He's evil at this point. It's okay, I need to neutralize you and kill him. Neutralize and kill him. But why did he jump at Obi-Wan? Because he's an idiot. That is straightforward. He's an idiot. I have the high ground, don't jump. I'm sorry, if he took all his lessons seriously, yes, granted he was probably caught up in the moment, but he should have looked at everyone like, really? Splash. You fail. Well, that was easy. Now I can go and help Padme back up and tell her what's going on. Whee! Done! But no. I think that's just an issue with most Jedi. They start fighting with lightsabers, and then they decide, okay, if this isn't working, I'll start using the Force. Why don't you just move? Here goes a hand! If I see your hand caught back, guess what? Steps aside and throw your own. Or redirect his. Instead of trying to do the whole touchy-feely, put my hand in your hand's way, and no. Hand come out, be like, Force put. Force put. You don't hit me. Hell yeah, lightsaber, just like, zzz. And I know how I feel. Kick. I'm done. But again, it wouldn't have been much of a movie if you would have busted out that kind of logic. I would have. I would have been like, zzz. I win. Force pooks. You win. Where you going? No, he got off my hand. I gotta go. Fuck this. You win. I'm leaving. Don't you want to get revenge for the youngling? No, fuck that. You cut off my hand. We're done. Pursuing lightsaber. We're done. Or we could have done a combo. Zzz. Boom! I win anyway. But again, this goes with the logic of power alone does not always win a fight. It doesn't. Use a little bit of common sense and you can usually beat your opponent. Usually being the operative word. But again, like I stated, as I've covered all this basic stuff, it's not really Anakin's fault that he turned evil. It's really not. There were multiple areas where any of the Jedi could have stepped in and fixed it. Especially at the beginning, I sensed much fear in him. Then guess what? Get an experienced master to train him. Get him off the path instead of letting someone else who is just now becoming a master try to sway him off the path. When he's just as fallible as Anakin was. 2, if an apprentice or a 5-year-old kid is telling you about your own stuff, and you're fucking it up still? If the apprentice is telling you that you're fucking up, if the apprentice tells you you're fucking up your own beliefs, stop yourself, step back, and review. Don't tell him just to shut up and color. Especially in that situation, he's brought it up. Put his concerns to rest. The reason why we're doing this, to be honest with you, Anakin, is we don't trust the senator. We do not trust his motives. We do not trust what he's planning on doing. And you being his closest friend, we understand you're not going to like us saying that we don't trust him. But we're putting it out there so you understand that we as a council do not trust the senator. So we need you to keep up with what he's doing, and if things seem odd or awry, let us know. Done. Simple. Oh well. Again, they brought it on themselves, and I'm pretty sure this has been a topic of discussion on all sorts of Star Wars forums and whatnot, but I just covered it here for the sake of covering it. Now on to our next person. Arthas. Yay. Arthas. A guy who went from being a human paladin to a human death knight to leader of the undead, only to get killed during his reign. How did something like this happen? Well, like Anakin, Arthas had some issues. But, unlike Anakin, Arthas was actually fully in this belief of paladinship. Let me explain. Where Anakin had the issue of having a Muppet and a bunch of people stare at him. Yes. I sense much fear in him. Arthas was the other way. Pretty much, his dad said, no, you're not fighting, and Arthur's like, hey, I gotta train, or else something bad's gonna happen, and I gotta learn to fight anyway. So he starts learning to fight, and he's going through all this stuff for the paladinship, and when he gets to become a paladin, he's like, hey, I went through this whole anointed thing, and it doesn't feel special. And they kind of bring it up later, hey, it doesn't feel special. You think it's supposed to be special, but it's not. It's not like, oh, just relax. So he's like, okay, cool, I'll chill. I'll hold on to that. I'll relax. Apparently, Arthas had a horse named Invincible. I'm sorry, everything that I've seen thus far in any fantasy roleplay situation at all, when it's named something like that, it means something bad's going to happen to it. Example, I made a Zeppelin, it is indestructible. What happened to it? It was utterly destroyed by a dragon that flew by and just ripped it apart. Okay. I made a ship! This is the greatest ship ever! This is like huge it's like a mobile city in the water. What's it called? The Unsinkable. The Unsinkable? That's a city in the water. Yeah! You have to travel on top of it. Awesome ship. So, what happened? It sank. It sank. Yeah. We ran to an iceberg and we pulled the Titanic. Well, what's Titanic? But let's go back to a point. Arthas became a paladin. And he had a horse named Invincible, and he was riding one day, and the horse broke its legs, and he had to put it down. He was very sad by this. Surprise, surprise. But then again, this is the same horse he grew up with, so I can understand why he's upset. Now, the reason of concern the reason of concern for this is people think Arthas was a bad guy. He's an evil fucking paladin. No, he's not. What happened was Arthas came up. He finds out about the. Okay, let me give you guys a quick thing, just so y'all know. In the city of Stratholme, there was a grain shipment that pretty much got to Stratholme, which was a big alliance city, human city, sorry, big human city, and the tainted grain turned the people into undead. Of course, they felt sick, nauseated, until they went to sleep. Then they died, came back up as an undead, mobile dead, and they started whooping the shit out of everyone else. Arthas got wind of this, and he pretty much killed Necromancer behind the whole tainting of the grain, and he speeds off to the old Stratholme, and he's booking it. He's full speed. 900 miles an hour, as fast as he can go. I mean, if it was Goku, we just would like, you're dead, sink, gone. It's a transmission. But he's not Goku, so guess what? He had to ride down there on a horse. He gets there, a couple people meet him, and he's like, okay, they're infected. Wipe them out. Maybe they're not infected. No, they're infected. We need to shut this place down and kill everybody. Now, granted, that's a little evil. But think about this for a minute. Let's break this down. We have a town of maybe let's just say 100 people. We're just gonna say 100 people. I like using simple numbers because it helps add things. We're gonna say 100 people. The grain was sent there to feed 100 people, but not everyone's gonna eat the grain like instantly. So you're gonna have at least a fourth. I'm gonna say about a fourth that are going to be infected because they put it in the bread, they make things with it, and people are eating the products. Okay. So that's about 25 out of 100. That's fine. That's just a quarter of a city to purge. Now, when he showed up, little did he know that the people are already not feeling good. They're going to turn, but they're not feeling good. He decides to kill the entire city because he knows the grain is in there. Let's just say this. Let's just say one of those buildings had the healthy people, but there's still a thing of grain, and as he's going through there to kill the actual evil people, to infect those who are already, while he's going through killing the mobile dead, and he passes the first building, wants to say that first building with the infected grain, like a little kid, you know how little kids are, they always stash things. What if they really like the grain? And the kid stashed some of the grain, and Arthas and his crew passes, and the kid gets hungry, so he eats the grain, and guess what? Now he's sick, and now the mobile dead start taking over that building. So when he opens the door, it's like, hey, we're safe. What the fuck? What? So Arthas' mindset was simple. I don't know how much the grain is here. I don't know where it's all at. Kill everybody because they're probably all infected. Naturally, his girlfriend Jaina's like, no, I can't be here for this. And the other paladin's like, dude, you cannot do this. You're a paladin. You cannot do this. He's like, I'm going to, because if I don't stop it here, it's going to spread, and then we're all fucked anyway. So I'm going to stop it here. You gotta give him credit. It's a hard decision. Technically, it's a very hard decision to sit there and say, I'm going to kill all my people in this town. That's a pretty fucked up thing to say, right? But he's putting it in perspective. If he doesn't stop it in this city, then it's going to spread out to other cities. Look at Resident Evil, for example. That's a good example. You don't stop it in one spot, guess what? It spreads, and it takes over everything else. Like a zombie movie. Just think of the zombie apocalypse. How does it usually start? 1 or 2 people going on infected, and then just spreads because no one contains it and kills it all outright. No, they don't contain it. That's what happened. Arthas saw it. He took advantage of the situation. The grain is here, and only here. Shut the place down. We kill everyone in here. We're good. Makes sense, right? So here goes Arthas in there. Ah! And he goes and proceeds to kill everybody. Everybody. Just kills them. Now, of course, his hammer, which he's wielding, isn't glowing as much because he's killing innocent people. He is killing innocent people. He's not sitting there going, have you eaten any grain? No, he is trying to expedite killing everybody because he knows if he doesn't do this fast enough, it can still spread. I can kind of see the logic, and at the same time, you have enough people. Should have came in with an announcement. If you have eaten any grain within the last day, go to the left. If you have not, go to the right. Why? Just do it. I'll explain after you split up. After they split up, okay, all y'all on the right, go down there. But just go down there. All y'all on the left, stay here. We're gonna have a discussion. Everyone gone? Everyone gone? Mages, light them up. There you go. Now, I know this part's going to be a little bit longer than the Anakin part because for Arthas, a lot more shit happened. I say it this way, but only because that's how it seems. Anakin, all his were pretty clear and cut. Arthas, he's left and right. There was nothing that said, I'm going against the Paladin Code. He went through Stratholme for a reason of trying to save... He tried to save his people. The way he tried to save his people was simple. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So he purged one city because he was trying to neutralize the infection before it actually seeped out. Which he did, technically. He did that, stopped the infection, yay. He gets to where the guy who masterminded it, he goes, hey, you want to deal with me? You gotta go to Northrend. Okay, so here goes Arthas. He's like, okay, Northrend, I'm kicking your ass. So he gets a little boat, gets his crew, they go up there, they go up to Northrend, he's got a little dwarf buddy with him, and they go out and they're like, okay, we got a bunch of dwarves here. And dwarves like, hey, you come to save us! Alright, we can go home, yes, that's awesome. And I was like, no, I'm here to whoop some guy's ass. Oh. Well, shit. Oh, we did find a weapon that might help, might be an operative word. But there's a problem with it, which is why we don't have it. So Arthas, thinking he's supreme, goes down there with his dwarf buddy, and they get down to the cave, and after some heavy fighting, they get to a sword, and they're looking at the sword, and of course the dwarfs. Arthas, I really wouldn't touch that blade. Arthas, meanwhile, is like, what? Don't touch Frostborn? Why? Not good. Something about you'd have to give up a lot of shit, and you're probably gonna lose yourself in it. Other than that, I really wouldn't touch this. Meanwhile, Arthur's like, fuck it. I must save my people. Ah! I have the power! He-Man! No. So Arthur goes... Arthur goes out there with Frostborn, and he's like, I kill you all! And just rifle kicks people, stabs them. And he feels he's doing really good. He's like, not badass. And I'm whooping the shit out of people. And this is where he starts going downhill, because the sword starts fucking with his head. Now, I would go through the rest of this, but like I said, swords are already messing with his fucking head, so he didn't put it together fast enough that when a voice comes into your head after you wield a weapon, you need to pretty much do what you need to do and get the fuck away from it. Done. No, not Arthas. He went over, he killed the demon, killed the monsters, and held onto the sword and followed its instruction. Way to go, Paladin. Way to go. But again, like I said, I'm not going to go into the additional details, but keep in mind, like Anakin, who went to the dark side mainly because the Emperor told him that he would learn power to save Padme. Well, the sword pretty much told him, hey, you know what? We can bring back the dead. Remember that horse you lost a long time ago? I got you covered, bro. So after you kill these guys, before you decide to discard me, go get your horse back. It'll make you feel better. And sure enough, when he did, the horse came back and shows he got his horse back, and he started, oh, well, the fucking sword's right. So he started leading the armies of the undead and started doing all the other stuff that everyone already knows. So, I'm going to end that there. Because Arthas became He-Man! He has the power! Of course he goes back home and kills his dad. I mean, hey, why not, right? Shit. I mean, why not? Kill Dad. Why? Because I have Frostborn and it says kill you. So guess what? Dude, you're gonna be king anyway. Why did you have to kill me? You could have waited like 3 months and you would have been king. Because I would have killed over anyway. Yeah, but I don't want to wait 3 months. I don't know. It's just something weird, huh? When you put it in perspective, it's just very strange. So, as I've brought up Anakin and Arthas, this is mainly for just discussion purposes. Shows you where I stand on both of these guys. I don't think Anakin did anything wrong. He tried to warn people. He just went bad because, well, he warned and he warned and he warned and no one took the signals. It's like having a gun, put the magazine in the gun. Someone says, hey, you put a magazine in the gun. Okay. Hey, you do realize you chambered a round into the gun. I know. Put it on semi. Dude, you do realize now that if you pull the trigger, you're going to shoot. You're going to actually fire a bullet into something. Wherever that barrel's pointing, you're going to you pull the trigger, it's going to send a bullet that way. Oh, I know. And then you put the gun here and pull the trigger. And you graze your head, and you go, why did that hurt? Why did that hurt? Motherfucker, you pointed a gun to your head. Be amazed you're still alive. Idiot. I told you 3 different times. I told you what was going to happen. I told you what was going to happen if you pulled the trigger. I told you what was going to happen when you put it on semi. I told you what was going to happen after you cocked it. I told you what was going to happen when you put the magazine in. As soon as you put the magazine in, I said, dude, you just loaded your gun. It's loaded. And you actually do at this point could cause a problem. And then you cocked it, which told me you put a chamber in the round. Which I told you, hey, you got a chamber in the round. And then you put it on a semi, which means if you pull the trigger now, it's definitely going to fire. There's no accidental firing about it. If you pull the trigger, it's going to fire. And then you put it to your head and you pull the trigger. Guess what? It fired! Anakin, that's what Anakin did. Anakin pointed out, Jedi don't do this. Jedi don't do this. You're telling me to do stuff Jedi don't do. Jedi don't do this. Jedi don't sneak around. Jedi don't do this stuff. Fine, if y'all keep having me do stuff that the Jedi aren't supposed to do, I'm just going to be the fucking other side because hey, I'm already doing the stuff I'm not supposed to do as a Jedi. Fuck it! I mean, that's what it breaks down to in basic math. Every time he did something that went against the Jedi code, he said, hey, this doesn't go with the code. Oh, that's okay. Shut the code. Y'all fault. Jedi's fault, not the Sith. Anakin warned, and he warned, and he warned. Then again, bounced the Force, and all the good guys are leading. to balance good guys leading, you need bad guys leading. Hi, Emperor Palpatine. Ta-da! Fixed! Balance of the Force. We haven't heard of a Sith in years. And yet we just met a kid that's going to bring balance to the Force. Shoot that fucker! That's my thought. Shoot the fucker. But I wouldn't have a movie. I don't give a damn. And then Arthas. Arthas meant well initially. He really did. As a paladin, he meant well. He wanted to protect his people. It's just, again, the dark side seems to mess with the dead. So that's all this sword had to do was convince him, hey, I can make you a king. I can bring back your horse. I can make you a king, and you have your own legion of worthy worshippers, worthy followers, people who will do what you say without question. So, something for you guys to think about on those 2 points. I hope you guys had a little bit of fun listening to this. For those of you who don't play WoW or Star Wars, or watch Star Wars, this may be a little confusing, but these are 2 characters that are more known. And I brought it up this way because I want to show that they're not 100% at fault. I mean, yes, they go that path, but everything that has a chance of redeeming them, everything that had a chance, failed to do so. That was their fault, not theirs. It's just that simple. So, have yourselves a good night, and I am going to, I don't know, eat. I'm going to get some food. So, laters.